I'm happy to say that I do not eat Chinese food, and after seeing this video, I don't think I ever will. This is nuts. So, look at what these guys are saying they found out back of a Chinese restaurant.
Man, y'all better not be eating no food from these Chinese restaurants, bro. That's a whole cat in there, bro. I hope y'all see that. That is a whole cat. Vacuum in the vacuum seal bag, dog. I'm not eating no more Chinese food, bro.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Look at this shit, dog. That's another whole cat. Man.
So yeah, I think I'm good on the Kung Pao cat. Yeah, no more Chinese food for me.
Shalom, shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all the praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to my apostles, the elders, the teachers at Great Millstone who were well. Peace, love, mercy, and salutations to all you sincere brothers that are scattered. Shalom as well to you few sisters, all right? Now, as you just saw here, and I have a couple more, clips that I want to share, all right, about, the diets, all right, what is, currently, heavily pushed out there, okay, especially upon Jake, okay? A lot of these restaurants, these Chinese restaurants, these fast food joints, McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, all right, various others that are, quite well known, all right? Predominantly, they're around where Jake lives, okay? Because it's poison. Even, going all the way, to the liquor stores, all right? Rarely will you find, whole food, grocery stores around where, Jake neighborhoods are, man, okay? Because it's systematically designed, all right, to destroy you, okay? Diet has a, major factor, okay, when it comes to not only just your physical being, but, that spiritual connection, that you would have towards the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. If your diet is fucked up, you're, constantly, in a low vibration, you're sluggish, you don't have that fire within you, man, okay? And this man, he studied on how to be able to destroy Jake totally, okay? The scriptures say that he had done a diligent search, okay? So he knows exactly what to do. When you watch that movie, they cloned Tyrone by Jamie Foxx. This movie came out a few years back. Okay, they showed you what these top elites, how these people are working, man. Okay, and they're targeting specific, neighborhoods, all right, and only a specific group of people. Okay, and that's you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and you so-called Native American Indians, man. That's why our people, all right, are under a very low vibration, man, low self-esteem, okay, and so on and so forth, man, you name it, okay? Ultimately, because food has a major factor in your well-being, okay? And that's why, beginning with our apostles and the elders, we're constantly harping on the importance of, proper diets, okay? Now, we are under the curses, we're in hell, but you can still pick the best of the worst, okay? You can still pick the best of the worst. So that's why, even the apostle, the elder apostle Gabar, he's constantly doing videos about, in my kitchen, how, he's, there's certain dishes that he makes, going into health and so on and so forth, man. Okay, because these things are critical. Okay, we're coming into a time where we will not, be depending on this man at all. Okay. So you got to be able to know how to cook your own food. You got to be able to know, how to go to the grocery stores and pick up, the proper nutrients in which your body needs. A lot of the food in which we eat today is empty calories. Okay. It's deficient in nutrients. So therefore, you find yourself constantly eating. Okay. When you actually eat food that have proper nutrients, you find yourself, you won't even be eating much. Because you already got everything you need, man. Okay? But, in this video that you just saw, man, you got, clearly you can see, okay, that is a cat. And, the scriptures go into that, man. You should not be eating any animal, that has paws. Okay? Let's get that precept real quick. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 27. And whatsoever goeth upon his paws, among all manner of beasts that go on all four, those are unclean unto you, whoso toucheth their carcasses shall be unclean until the even. In the NLT, of the animals that walk on all four, those that have paws are unclean. If you touch the carcasses of such an animal, you will be defiled until the even. Okay, now look at animals that have paws. Okay, the cat, all right, that's the first one you see on your top left. The dog, all right, you know, of course Esau will, you know, he's gonna sprinkle some things in there, all right, which is not, you know, accurate. Okay, you know, the lion, the wolf, horse, bear, okay, these are considered unclean. You should not be eating that. But what do these Moabites and Ammonites, you know, feed Jake? Okay, they feed you everything that is unclean. Okay, here it is. You know, you go to a Chinese restaurant, you know, and you order, you know, I'm a chicken ball. All right, you're thinking you're eating chicken. You know, come find out, ain't none of the, you know, you know, what am I trying to say here? You know, none of the part of what's being fried or whatever looks like any part of a chicken, man. Okay, but look at this right here, and these people are known for eating cats and dogs, man. They're known for that. Okay, you see, and this is why it's really important to constantly pray. Okay, to constantly pray, man. Okay, and it's also important for you to do your part, which ultimately means you should not be eating at these goddamn restaurants, man. Okay, to the best of your ability, man. Okay, go buy your own grocery, cook your own meals. Okay, we're in 2026, man. Everything is defiled. Okay, and beginning with that nigga Kill Gates, man, right? These people have bought all the land farms, okay, you know, buying up all the water, okay, and, you know, little do you, you know, come to find out, you know, that there's certain, you know, ticks or mosquitoes or whatever, you know, you get bit by it, now you're allergic to red meat, okay, but, you know, it's a coincidence that you're not allergic to any of these lab-grown meats, you see? Wickedness, man. We are in hell. Okay, we are in hell. And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, okay, he prophesied about this time, man. Okay, here's another video. All right.
350 squirrels. 350 squirrels were found in a cooler in a Chinese restaurant in New York.
What the
I said 350 squirrels was found in a cooler, okay, in a Chinese restaurant in New York. And a lot of people in the comments, because I go to them comments, I get deep down in them comments, they have had squirrel before. And that's your business if you want to eat a squirrel.
I ain't gonna lie now. I got people from the country that eat squirrels. That done ate squirrels. My daddy eat squirrels. He used to go hunt them. But that is not my cup of tea, baby. No sir.
Squirrel, a snake, a dog, a cat, that's your business. But when people go to a Chinese restaurant and order food and they order some chicken,
Right.
they expect chicken.
Right.
But I've been saying this about these Chinese people. Lay off of it a little while.
Hey,
Maybe
listen.
go to the grocery store
Listen
and maybe
now.
make your...
I've been saying this for the longest too, man. All that can't be chicken. All that chicken they give you, them like, bro, that can't be chicken. That can't. They just giving it. They just overly giving it. And we know some Chinese people, some penny pinching motherfuckers. They be giving out a lot of chicken, dog. That squirrel, I knew it, bro. That's why I do not like eating a lot of Chinese food, bro. I cook my own. Straight up, I cook my own.
own Chinese food. You can do the same thing that they are doing. It'll taste just as good.
Straight up.
Okay? Because you can't tell me, I think a lot of us, especially back in the day, when the Chinese restaurants came in strong, they wasn't feeding us something that they didn't have no business of feeding us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But this is wrong. Now, you can go look up this story as well. They found dogs in a restaurant before. So this is not the first time, but 350 squirrels.
That's
so
crazy.
y'all was going to skin those squirrels, mix it in with some more of the regular chicken and meat, and feed it to people. They got to go to court. But what about those people that could have got sick? What's wrong with people? You know what I'm saying? Chinese, I'm not letting y'all slide. I'm not Chinese people. I'm not letting y'all slide. That is wrong. And I'm going to tell y'all what else I saw. And I saw this with my own eyes. I saw where the Chinese people were like growing big rats. Like, what are y'all about to do with these rats? These was the biggest rats I ever seen in my life. You know what I'm saying? So if you are a Chinese eater person, eat Chinese food, please be careful. That's all I'm going to tell you. Go look it up, okay? Go look it up, the story about the squirrels, and think that I'm lying. Hugs and love. Y'all be blessed to J-Lo. Mwah.
And that's exactly like I say why I like to make my own Chinese food. I really like to cook at home these days. Let's just cook at the highs, man. 2026 going into 27, man. We cooking at the highs.
Yeah, and you know, as the brother said, man, that can't all be chicken. And it's the same thing with McDonald's. You know, there's a stat that, you know, basically went into how, you know, the amount of burgers McDonald's is producing by day, okay, the math doesn't make sense as compared to how many cows are actually in the world. So where are all these meats coming from? Okay, and it was actually found, human flesh in these McDonald's burgers, man. Okay, you see, and as the woman here, she was just talking about these rats. You know, they were growing these rats. Giving them injections. That's the same thing, that they're doing with these chicken, man. Okay, when you actually eat, I'm a free range chicken that actually grew in a farm. Okay, the bone, the meat, it's a bit tougher as compared to the ones that you buy from the grocery stores, man. The ones that you buy from the grocery stores are, processed. You see, it's not actually, healthy for you, man. Okay, you see, same thing with turkey, man, and so on and so forth, man. So again, showing you that, hey, man, Esau and these other heathen nations, because these other heathen nations are under the power also of Esau, Edom, man. So Esau allows them to be wicked unto Jake. Esau allows them to continue in such way without, proper judgment, man, because he doesn't care. He won't eat that. Your top elites, you won't find them. All right, give me 1 second. Right, as I was saying, your top elites, you won't find them at these grocery stores, your local grocery stores, man. They eat the best of the best. Okay, you see, but to the rest, they don't care. Okay, they don't care. It's business. I believe there was a there was a Campbell soup. I believe a few months ago, it was found to be basically those cans, I forget exactly the information that came out about it, but it was basically lab grown, man. Okay, and the manager, the CEO, was basically saying he doesn't eat from his own company. He said, this shit is for poor people. Okay, so that just goes to show you another example. These people that are selling you these products, they don't even eat from their own businesses, man, because they know what the hell is in there. You see, that's the time that we're in, man. Wickedness completely, man. Okay, let's get another one more, and then we'll wrap up.
So at a Detroit McDonald's plant where they process the food, the FBI raided the plant this morning, and they found dozens and dozens and dozens of human remains in boxes sitting right inside of the gates of the plant. They had somebody tip them off, and I guess they've been watching this plant for quite some time, so they decided to raid them this morning. And long story short, they found a bunch of the factory workers in head-to-toe gear with the proper saws and equipment to continue grinding and chopping up these remains. And I have no words. I have no words. McDonald's is a disgrace. I don't know how they're not shut down permanently. You have a local restaurant that scores a 70 on their health score for forgetting to put the mop back, and it's a big deal. You have people literally being chopped up and processed into your burger meat, guys. Share this story out. This is fucking disgusting. And if you don't believe me, just Google Detroit McDonald's factory human remains. It'll pop up. This is fucking disgusting. I am saddened by this country and share this story out. This is fucking disgusting. And if you don't believe me, just Google Detroit McDonald's factory human remains. It'll pop up. This is fucking disgusting. I am saddened by this country in every way. Every day I wake up and it's just, I want to throw up. It's like, what the hell are we even living for anymore? You know? And me personally, I truly believe that even though the FBI raided them, I think our government is 110% behind this.
Yeah, and that's a fact. As he mentioned, he doesn't know how or why these people are not shut down. It's because ultimately the elites are behind it, man. What do you think they care about more, the people or money? McDonald's is a multi-billion-dollar trillion probably. Okay, McDonald's is freaking worldwide, man. Okay, you can go anywhere in the world and find McDonald's. So you think they're gonna shut that down, where they're making trillions of dollars? You see, these people don't care, man. Okay, they do not care. And just as if I heard recently, there was some information that came out about people asking why they're not building more cemeteries, man. Okay, it's because the people that are dying, they're feeding you those people, man. Okay, and the elites even brought that information out, man, saying when we tell you these things, you don't believe us. You think it's too far-fetched. Okay, but yet human remains were found in these meats, etc., man. You see, we are in hell, and this man needs to be put out. Let's bring out a precept, okay, about those that destroy the earth. The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 18, it says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, okay, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroyed the earth." You see, that's a judgment. That is a major prophecy that will come to pass. Okay, and who has destroyed the earth? Esau, Edom, and also these nations, man, these heathen nations who are also in league with Esau, Edom. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim is going to destroy them, man. The scriptures talk about how has the hammer of the earth been broken down. Let's actually get that as well. Okay, hammer of the earth. Okay, the book of Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 23. How is the hammer? It's like how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? Because the Lord is going to do it, man. That's how. Okay, this is why we talk about divine intervention. We need the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim to intervene, because without that, what's going to happen? This man will just continue, and then before you know it, everybody's dead. Okay, you see, how is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Because the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim is going to have to intervene, man. All right. So again, we know that famous precept about we shall eat our defiled breads among the Gentile. This is exactly what this is exactly what you're seeing here, man. Defiled breads, man. Okay, things that you should not be eating at all, things that your body was not designed to consume, else you will get sick and die, man. That's why people are dying, and people are constantly sick. Okay, you got children, man. I see a lot of children at my my dental clinic there. Okay, teens, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, man, on pills because of depression, all types of illness, man. What the hell does a 16-year-old have to be depressed about? You got no responsibility, nothing. You're still under your parents' roof. Everything is taken care of, But these children are, sick. They're all ill. And a lot of it has to do with this food, man, that they're constantly consuming. All right, all these chemicals, things that make you addicted, okay, but also destroying you slowly, okay? Hey, man, so with that, shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashim, willing that it was edifying unto some shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashim, barakatah.